Welcome back to the video, guys. Today we're going to be going over the 392 swap on my 5.7. I'm going to be going over the expense, how to install it, little tips and tricks that you can do to make this an easy install, any little extra wires or anything so you can avoid cutting, and just the process on how I did it so you can do it easy. I believe it took me about an hour or so by myself. I did it, and it was pretty simple, to be honest, with all the little things that I bought for it to help, so I didn't have to cut into any wires or anything. So let me pop this hood and let me show you guys. So as you can see, it's on, car runs, all that. I just got this intake 2 days ago. I had the stock intake on it at first, but then I went out and bought this one. Now let's go over price. I got my manifold for a really good deal. I got it for $300. And then one of the parts that you're gonna need if you don't want to do the little SRV module, whatever. I know people say they recommend it, but you're gonna need that little lockout plate right there. I will leave a link and I'll pop up a picture, but that's gonna lock out your short runner from activating. So it's just gonna be stuck in long runner mode, which is what you want. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is about $150, and the guy sold it to me for $100 already pre-installed because he had it on his 5.7. And then I know people say you have to have the 392 map sensor, but mine fit perfectly, no issues. People say they have to cut into their wire and stuff, but I didn't need to do that. It fit perfectly. I had no issues with that right there, as you can see. And then the intake, I got it for $150, really good deal as well. I had to buy this coupler for it, which is about $20 from AutoZone, I believe. And then I had a little fit, this little piece right here because it didn't come with it. And then this little elbow right here, I had to buy from AutoZone as well. And I just reused my hose from my 5.7. Everything fit. I did have to extend, I heated it up and then made it fit, but it ain't coming off. And as far as that, I believe that's about it. I had to buy this little cord here that extends your little sensor. You will need that unless you want to cut into your wire and extend it, but it was literally $15, guys. Like, it was super easy, super helpful. Zip tied it here, and you need it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts unless you want to cut into the wire. Like I said, you need that extension right there. I will leave a link to this thing that I got on AutoZone or Amazon, and then I'll leave a link to the lockout plate back there. But now we can get into the installation. The installation is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. All you're gonna need to do is remove these bolts. I believe there's 5 on each side. And then don't forget to switch your oil cap from this one to this one, because if you take it to the dealer or whatever and they go to do your oil, they're gonna put the wrong oil because the 6.4 oil is different than the 5.7 oil. I was able to use my catch can from my 5.7. I just had to trim this one to fit because the 5.7 ended up going back here. This one goes here. This one goes here, so I did have to cut it because it ended up going like right here. But as you can see, there is a really big difference between these two manifolds. This has more of a bend right here. This is just coming straight out here. This one is a lot bigger. Maybe not a lot, but it's definitely bigger for sure. So that's where you get your little gains or whatever. And then you're gonna want to remove the injectors and fuel rails. A trick is, because I know a lot of people remove the fuel line and remove it all separately, you can just take these two things off, the other two right there, and then pry it with like a, not too crazy because you will break it. I broke a clip over here, but it ended up working still, so I just left it. I do need to get a new one. But if you just pry this side and pry that side and just wiggle it, slowly but surely it will come out. And you can just take this whole thing off. It's all connected right here. Take that one and that one, and you can just prop it up right there on your windshield by your hood, and it'll avoid taking this off and getting gas everywhere around here. After you have all that removed, the fuel line and the bolts, there is gonna be a little, leave that wire that leads all the way here and goes to the back there. You're gonna need to remove that hose and everything will come out. I watched Reed Performance video and he disconnected that hose right there, the brake booster hose. I did that as well, but I was able to remove this and it gave me enough slack to take that hose off last. You just get a little pliers, wiggle it around, and then you can be able to break it free and then just pull it off. There is gonna obviously go to the manifold. It fits, you don't need to buy any extensions, nothing like that. But it's literally just back there. Obviously you're not gonna be able to get to it. So once this is loose, you can pull it to the side and then you can just connect the hose after you put this one on. Also forgot to mention, I did buy gaskets. You do want to buy brand new gaskets, depending on how old your car is. Mine's a 2022, but I just bought them just in case. You're gonna want to buy new gaskets. You're gonna need these four, and then this one. The set I bought came with all those, and then it also came with a manifold, or intake one right here, and then one for your oil cap, but you don't need those. The main ones are just these 5, and then these 5 right here. If you have the gaskets on, you can just throw this manifold on, just repeat the process, bolt everything on, connect everything, connect the harness back there, the hose back there, and then this piece right here just goes on right there. Like I said, you're gonna need to cut this to shorten it to fit onto here, because it will be too long and it's gonna make like a little bend right here. You don't want that. Once everything's bolted back on, you will be good to go. Throw on the intake, throw on all your sensors, make sure everything's bolted, nothing's loose, no leaks, and you will be good to go. I will throw in some sound clips, startup, some revs, just so you guys can hear it. It does make a very, very big difference. You will get 0 throttle lag. When I did have the stock 6.4 manifold on, or intake, it wasn't as serious. Definitely still was a difference, but once you throw the filter on, or a cold air intake, it will make a huge difference and it'll feel like a whole new car. 0 throttle lag, 0. Definitely does give you some decent horsepower, especially in like the mid-range RPM when you're gassing it or whatever. It does make a difference for sure. Everyone that says it doesn't make that big of a difference, whatever, it's fine. Like it makes a pretty big difference for the money, or for what I spent at least. I spent about like $550-ish, give or take, maybe 600. But it does make a difference and definitely was worth it. I have no regrets on this. Don't need a tune after installing this. You're gonna just throw it on. I do recommend getting a tune. Myself, I have not got a tune on this yet. I do want to get a tune. Obviously, you have to save up because they're not cheap. It's about like $1,000, I believe it is, something like that. But you don't need a tune. For anyone saying you do, you don't. I'm running it, it's fine. Your car will eventually, your computer will balance it out. But I do recommend getting a tune. Like I said, I'm gonna take mine in to get a tune. Thing I forgot to mention, when taking off this fuel reel, you're gonna want to take these clips off. There's 4 on each side, obviously 8 cylinders. Just take these off, and then you can remove that. But other than that, I mean, it was a really easy install if you have the parts that I need, or that I told you guys about, which is this hose and that lockout plate back there. If you have those two, you're gonna be set. It's gonna be a really easy install, because if you don't have this, you're gonna need to extend this wire. You're gonna have to cut them, do all that extra stuff, and it's just not worth it. You can just buy this for $15. Comes in next day. But if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to know anything, I mean, I think I went over pretty much everything I did on my install to make it about as quick as possible. Like I said, it took me about an hour to do. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I'll answer all of them, because I don't want you guys to struggle doing this install, because it is a pretty simple install. Yes, it can get tricky if you don't know what you're doing, but there is YouTube. Hopefully this video helps. Other than that, like I said, any questions, comments, feel free to throw them down. I will throw links for that hose and that adapter right there. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below and I will answer them. And I will see you guys in the next video.